So the lab we're going to do today is an exploration of elements in the periodic table. And you can see that sitting at Canvas here. Um, I want to remind you, you need to print the laboratory procedure and handwrite the questions on the boxes on the sheet. I've already pulled this up. I want you to notice here, um, right, the purpose is to find out information about the elements that can be obtained on the periodic table. I also want you to be familiar with the periodic table, and I find that this lab helps with that familiarity. So one of the things that we've already learned is that we can classify elements into broad groups, and the periodic table helps us do that. And so the vocabulary here is atomic number and group number. When we look at this background, it says, when you begin to study chemistry, it's important to learn the symbols for the common elements. You can also learn about the properties of elements and the way they interact with other elements. Most elements have characteristic properties based on the number of electrons in their outermost energy level. So remember, electrons are outside the nucleus, and those outermost electrons are called valence electrons. And these elements have properties based on their number of valence electrons. Now, a periodic table can help you identify the symbols for each of the elements and learn about their atomic structure. So while you do this lab, I would really suggest having a periodic table. I don't think you can complete it without that. And so you can either pull that up online or, of course, have a paper copy as well. So it says here in this assignment, you're going to go to the virtual lab and create solutions. And it just says, I have read all the information above. You do not have to answer this because if you have watched this, you've read all the information above. But if you want to, you can as well. So let's go down here, and I want you to notice something different about this lab. It says this activity is written to be used with the desktop download version of Beyond Labs, not the web version. Now, Beyond Labs used to have a desktop version only. And that's really not being used anymore. Everything is on the web version. Now, even though it says it's to be used not with the web version, we can still do this lab with a web version, but you need to adjust a few things, and I'm going to talk you through that. So we're going to find out information about the elements using the periodic table. You can read through this, right? We've already talked about atomic number and group number. This is a repeat of what we just talked about. So let's go to the procedure. And it says, select the virtual physical science. Well, we don't really have that. Instead, you're going to come over here, and we really want to be in the inorganic lab, which is where that link will take us to off the Canvas page. Now, once we're in the inorganic lab, we're going to see a few things, right? We are going to see, this is a clamp, these are test tubes, this is a test tube rack, and then we have elements back here, okay? And so what we're going to do is, it says, drag the test tube from the box and place it on a metal stand. What's the symbol used for silver? Refer to a periodic table if needed. Find the bottle containing silver and click on it, and this will fill the test tube with silver solution. Now that's not entirely correct, so I messed around with this quite a bit and figured out how it changed it. So here's what you need to do. You need to double click on test tubes, okay? When you double click on test tubes, it's going to move a test tube here on the clamp, and then you can come here and click on silver. So you come here and you click on silver, and the contents here, this is an image of a test tube with silver in it, and it's telling you the contents here. Now this is an ion, and this is a silver plus ion, and so I want to remind you that means the silver has lost one electron to carry that positive charge there. And so you're going to come here, and you're going to fill out silver. You're going to write the symbol, which is Ag. You're going to tell the color of the solution. Now that solution is not white, right? It's clear or colorless is what we're going to be able to say. So if you put white there, that's going to be wrong, because white would indicate that it's cloudy, basically. And so we are going to say this has no color, so it's a colorless solution. Now, this is where you're going to use your periodic table. You are going to record the atomic number from the periodic table, the atomic mass, and the group number. And remember, the group number is the number at the top. Then you're going to repeat that for all of these ions here. So sodium, potassium, cobalt, and copper. And so once you're done with this, you just move it here to the trash, and it clears the lab. And then you can, again, double click, and you will see that it will light up the back here, and you can go through the rest of the elements, right? And so I want to show you, because I'm trying to show you the difference between colorless and white. For example, if you were to look at bismuth right there, which is Bi, what you're going to see here is this is a solution. It's a solution of bismuth hydroxide, and that would be considered white. Okay, so there's a difference between colorless and white. That really confused me as a student, so that's one of the reasons I like to kind of settle and talk about that a little bit. So you need to go through all of these, and they're all on the back wall, and record the color, the symbol, the atomic number. Then you need to answer these questions that are shown here. Remember, you need to handwrite these. You'll scan them in, and then you'll upload them to Canvas, and I'll grade them there. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.